Hello and welcome to the Read Write Inc. Phonics ebook library subscription. In this short video, we will be adding students to the ebook library to enable them to access their allocated books. You start by clicking the drop-down arrow next to your name in the top right grey bar. Navigate to Manage Students and select to open the next screen. Here is a list of students already added. We will first add a single student. Click on the Add Students button in the top right area next to the search bar. A box will appear from the right. To add a single student, simply fill in the details below. Adding a single student may be beneficial if you have a student joining later on in the year. Add their first name, last name, and click Generate Username. Then click Generate Password. These two areas will generate the student's login details. I've used Barker the dog from one of the stories. You will then need to add in a parent email. This email account will be used if a new password or username needs to be generated for the student. I'm going to use my email address. Finally, select the year group that the student will join. This prompts a notice informing you that the student will automatically be moved to the next year group in the next academic year. Click Add Student. And you can see the student account has now been created, and you have the option to download a sign-in card to give to the student. This sign-in card has all of the students' login details and the Oxford Hour website on there. Click Done. And now we can search for our student in the search bar at the top. The second way to add students is to import a class or a year group. This is the best way to add students when you first start using the Read Write Inc. Phonics ebook library. Click on Add Students and then Import Students at the top. You will then be advised of some information that you will need to continue. Click on the Next button to get started. You can use data you already have on an Excel spreadsheet or copy and paste the data to the template provided. Click on the template to include the first name, last name, year group to be enrolled, and class name to be enrolled. You will also need to add the parent email to enable a password or username to be reset. You can leave the username and password cells blank if you wish for these to be generated. You can also specify a username, but it must be a minimum of 4 characters. And you can specify a password, but it needs to be a minimum of 5 characters with at least 1 number at the end, and special characters are not allowed. You can allocate the same password to a whole class. However, the username must be unique to the student. And then year groups must be added exactly as it says in the list provided. Here's an example of a CSV file that I have already created. So the important thing to remember is to keep the headings the same, otherwise the data will not pull through properly. I have made some errors on here, so we can see how that looks later on. Let's go back to uploading our group. Click Choose from your computer and open the CSV file. Before I click to the next stage, I want to draw your attention to the following. We recommend that you upload one class at a time to give you greater control over the signing cards that I showed you previously. If you upload the whole school at once, you will receive all the signing cards all at the same time in alphabetical order, which means they will all need to be sorted into their classes before you give them to the students. Click Next, and you will see an overview of the students added. Now you can see where I have made some errors, so let's correct those errors. You will notice that every student now has a green tick next to their name. Press Next to continue. A box pops up to confirm. Click Import Users, and the data is now being processed. We can press Done, and then we can now see our students in the Manage Students tab at the top, or we can go to Manage Classes. Let's just search for a student. And you'll see that Harry Potter has been added. And if we go to Manage Classes, you can now see my Hogwarts class that I added. That concludes our Read Write Inc. ebook library walkthrough. I hope you found it useful. Thank you for watching.